Yeah. So put these on and listen for the audio as soon as it comes up. Videos. Go live. We'll go to the stream. And nope. Close that. There it is. We'll click on that. Here it is. If you'll listen to that and check our audio versus his, how loud everything sounds. Make sure it sounds good. Yeah, mute that. Cool.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Test 1, 2, 3.
It's a little behind. There's a little bit of delay, so.
Yeah, we'll be waiting like, what is it, like 20 seconds? I think it's a 20-second delay.
Yeah, y'all sound fine.
Perfect. All right.
Cool.
So,
okay.
Kai, how's your day been, man?
It's not bad. I mean, since I've been working on this, I've kind of had a weird sleep schedule, or just kind of sleep when I'm tired.
Right. Gotcha.
And so got up at like, I don't know, an hour before this, I guess. And I don't know. So it's not much of a day so far, I'd say.
Right. That I don't know. That sounds like somebody I know. So I mean, okay, got it.
Yo.
Okay, cool. Wow. Oh, right. Intro. Everyone, hello and welcome to Team Ningen Gaming. We're here. I just dabbed. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I just dabbed. That's the in thing that kids do still, right? Cool. So we're gonna.
Yes.
Here at Team Ningen Gaming, we envision a future where the vast majority of consumers can put a face and name to a product, and that though when using said product or thinking about said product, those people will have an emotional connection to the people that made it. And here at Team Ningen Gaming specifically, we do that by uniting gamers and small developers so that together we can do big things. Today we have with us Kai. Say hi, Kai.
Hello.
I'm Matt, and this is Faith, my co-host for the day. And Kai, you're the developer of. You're the developer of. I'm presuming it's pronounced Cassie, right?
Cassie, whatever you want.
However you want to say it. So it's the game that's very, very customizable in the sense that even you can change how the game's name sounds. So Cassie, I'm gonna call it Cassie then. That sounds very posh. Very, I like it. So Kai, I want to hear your life story. Tell me all about yourself, where you grew up and all that.
Yeah, I moved around a lot as a kid, but eventually we settled in near Sacramento in California. And so I went to college for computer engineering, and that's where I really started messing around with like game development. And I've made tons and tons of prototypes while I was in college. And so after I graduated, I was working at this small company. It was kind of like a startup, and it folded. And so then I was adrift, and it took me a while to find some concept that I wanted that I would have the motivation to take to its completion and actually be able to like publish it and share it with people. Right. And that's what Cassie is.
Very cool. So it's a. Wait, sorry. Tell us what was it like growing up at your household? Like, do you have like anything you'd like to share about like family situation, all of that stuff?
I don't know. It was pretty cool. I mean, my parents are divorced, but that's not a huge deal. We moved around like every 1 to 3 years, just because whether my dad was getting like a better opportunity or a worse opportunity, or
Right.
the economy and stuff.
Mm.
But I don't know, it was cool. My parents are cool. I remember my dad used to have a Hummer One,
Oh, really?
a giant car, and so when I was in elementary school, sometimes he'd pick me up from it, and I had to climb in, and I felt so cool.
I bet you did. All the other kids at school were probably like, "Whoa."
Yeah, exactly. He drove me and some of my friends somewhere once, and he had he had subwoofers underneath all the seats,
Mhm.
pointing up,
Uh,
and so they were just overwhelmed by what was happening.
Oh, that is too funny. I can't. I can picture that. It's pretty good. No way. Um. So you were you were wandering around, and he was wherever the work was, you guys went. Basically, was kind of the
Yeah.
lifestyle.
So I mean, before 2008 and the economy crashing, we were kind of.
Right.
He started his own company, and we moved to Texas. We lived
Oh, yeah?
there for 3 years, and then after stuff didn't work out there, we moved back to California,
Okay.
and we've been here since.
Okay. Cool. So you ran a little company. You guys ended up moving back to California, and now you're living over there. Ooh, jeez, it is not cheap over in California.
It's not. I went to college. I went to Santa Clara University near San Jose,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, the job I had after was a job I got my junior year, and yeah, the prices there are ridiculous. Like was looking for places to live, and you see this little tiny thing that's like 400 square feet, and they want $1,900 a month for it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's a shack. It's a shack somebody built in their backyard so that they could have something to rent out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I pretty much hear that from my friend Tim. He was like, yeah, it's super expensive over in California. Like so if you have like, we were like talking like where people live and like how to, just the expenses everywhere. But he was like, what you could do is just try and succeed over in California, and like you have a house there, and once you get successful there, like you can live wherever the heck you want else.
Well, I'm
Pretty
excited
much.
about. I'm excited about like the kind of work that you can do from anywhere, because then you can live wherever you want. You just choose a place.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's the exciting thing. Like here in Tennessee, like typical for like a really nice room, every month you could pay what, like $425. $425 is what I paid. And that's what I'm charging for the rooms here. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's pretty simple.
From like apartment life, that's like the minimum.
That's the
And
minimum.
that's rare around where we are. Like majority of them around here, like apartments wise, the rent can start at like $600 and go up. So that's
Man.
for a 1 or 2 bedrooms. So
Maybe I have to rethink you guys' lease. I could be making $600 per room. All right.
I was paying like $1,600 for a studio in San Jose.
a studio,
Yeah,
God,
Man, that's wild.
it's just location.
Yeah. Location. So tell us about. Let's get into video games. What's the first video game that you felt an emotional connection
The
with?
first, Pokemon Ruby version.
yeah.
Okay.
That was the game that like got me into video games, I guess. Having a Game
okay.
Boy Advance as a kid. And then from there, I mean, I had the Game Boy, GameCube, all like those old, like the Xbox, the original Xbox, GameCube, PS2. But then from there, I mostly did just like, that's when after that I started getting into PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like, as a kid, since we moved around so much, I usually had some kind of like beefy laptop that I lugged around with me and played everything on. And now that I'm older and I can afford it, I just have a desktop that I put stuff in.
Nice.
But like games that I really like, the Bethesda games. Fallout 4 and Skyrim I play a lot. Souls games, anything from From Software. I play do you guys know RimWorld?
Grimworld?
RimWorld on Steam. It's like a colony simulator. It's on Steam. It's pretty popular.
It
I play that a lot. Yeah, I mean, I could look at my stuff, but yeah, most the vast majority of the time that you see on say my Steam profile is going to be like Fallout 4, Dark Souls 3, stuff like that.
Right. Okay, cool. So if you could tell me right now, what's your favorite game of all time? Hands down, what emotionally you're man, this thing, I don't know how it can get any better.
Let me look real quick.
Oh goodness. Oh, okay.
It's a tough question.
Really?
Yeah, it is, because if you play a lot of games, even through growing up until now, there's so many by that point that it's hard to choose just one. That's
wild, because I have 600 games in my Steam library. It's hands down, I know what game. I connect with Nier Automata. I know we're doing indie games and stuff here, but I can't lie. I connect with it.
If there's a game that I could say really the entire time I was playing it, I was wow, this is a good game. It was Sekiro.
Sekiro, really?
Yeah.
So you really do like games that are really tough, grimy,
Well,
have a story behind them. Oh goodness, that's getting loud over here. I'm worried that's gonna start picking up by the mic, even though they're closed headphones.
I do like the challenge for sure, but then I also like other games like RimWorld, which I play a lot. That's not a fighting game at all. That's you click on your characters and you manage your colony's resources, and it's totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
Very technical, very hands-on. It's interesting because I played Sekiro as well, and I don't know. I guess I don't really feel as emotionally connected to it, but it's definitely a super solid game.
Maybe it's not emotional, but it's in the moment when you're getting all those perfect deflects one after the other. It just feels really, really good.
Yeah.
So that you're doing that, I don't know.
Right.
Did you ever play the original Demon Souls?
I did. I don't have a PlayStation 3 or 4.
Oh.
I'll play if the new one comes out on PC, which has been hinted at, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't play it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like From Software games. I like how they look. I like, the art style. They look very pretty, but I'm just terrible at them. So I like looking. So
right.
That's how I am with those.
Yeah. See, I'm under the impression, whenever it comes to games in general, any real game that there's a skill base to, I believe that there is that satisfaction you can get out of learning the mechanics, and I believe most anyone can actually play a game like Sekiro, and honestly, if they just keep doing it, they'll get it. I believe that if you keep on no different than rhythm games, people are I don't understand how it's possible. These people playing these expert plus modes.
It does take a while.
It takes but that's the thing. You just keep at it. Your mind actually is crazy capable of making connections, and whenever it does it's piece by piece. It's it's figuring it out, and then it gives you a little reward. It's oh, I got that right. Oh, I got that right, and it keeps on building those connections until you're just able to respond to them the way that you're supposed to. And I feel with Sekiro, it's literally something where you feel the game itself, it's very much is sheerly skill based, and you learn the abilities, and once you get it, you're oh right, oh wow, I just did that. That was really cool, and you feel really good because you got it. No different than a rhythm game, or DDR or something like that.
I mean, maybe there's that, but then there's also, and this might not be much the case with Sekiro, but it is with definitely the other Dark Souls games, that it's other than the skill, there's the coming up with strategies and builds and stuff, and designing your character and to have different weapons or abilities or whatever, and saying, oh well, this and this works together. That's really cool. Oh, this is actually really strong. Oh, da da da. My friends and I get a lot of replayability based on that.
Which, I mean, Sekiro is kind of like that with especially his prosthetics. you can change those out, and that can also depend on how well that'll help with whatever boss you're up against. But yeah, it's definitely different from Dark Souls.
Yeah, if you play Dark Souls, you can like just run at everything with a sword, or you can stand back and shoot spells at it. Like, it's a totally different game depending on the way you play. But I mean, I really, really like Sekiro, but it is pretty. You approach it mostly the same.
Yeah, very cool, awesome. It's interesting. We got real focused on talking about some Sekiro and Dark Souls. Right on. Goodness gracious.
I guess it's kind of funny since I like those games so much that I made this game that's meant to be like relaxing.
Yeah.
Well, casual.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a really neat contrast too, right? Like I can see that. So actually, could you share with us why is it that so if anybody doesn't know, Cassie, I guess we're calling it Cassie because I can't remember to call it Cassie. But Cassie is basically a small plant building game. We'll play it nearing the end of the stream. We'll show you guys what it's like. Super chill, just pulling out leaves and making roots and like creating beautiful plants. So get back to that. Like, what went through your mind when you were like, yeah, this is definitely a game I can stick with, trying to build.
Yeah, I mean, so after my company shut down and I moved back home, and so as I was looking for work, I was trying to come up with all these different ideas of things I thought might be interesting to play.
Right, you mentioned that.
Or things would be interesting for me to like make and then people to play. And so, I mean, at one point I wanted to make a game that was 100% playable without any kind of display. So it'd be playable without any disadvantage by blind people. And so it would just be probably like just headphones on, and you'd have to use a controller so you can get some rumble, and that'd be the only feedback that you get from the game is the sound and that force feedback. But then I realized as I toyed with a bunch of different like premises for what kind of game that would be, and it turns out it's really complicated to convey information to the player without them looking at anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
not be confused about what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really that's something else to think about.
Yeah.
Like,
so at one point it was going to be like, I don't know, like kind of like a 2D Minecraft, except you hear where everything is, and then I was like, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And at another point it was about like, I don't know, pressing buttons on the controller to manipulate like mechanical devices. And then I was like, that's not going to work. And then it was going to be like, I tried to make up an entire language that you could input with just the controller so that you could talk to aliens that speak that language. And then it turns out that's really complicated too. And so I gave up on that. And so the first thing that kind of led to Kasi was my idea was basically, in every game you play, you either see from the eyes of your character and you see the world and you move around, or you have like a camera that's behind them and you see the character themselves in the world.
Right.
And so my idea was kind of like an evolution game where you start out as some like simple form of life and gradually evolve. And in evolving, you would gain different senses. So you start out with without even the ability to see. And as you progress and maybe, I don't know, reproduce or something, you're able to choose new abilities, like the ability to hear, the ability to see, the ability to sense, I don't know, light, temperature, vibration, etc.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
And so when I was thinking about that, I was like, oh well, you could be like an animal that can move around, or you could be a plant. And that each of those two different things would get their own like sets of senses that they would have about the world. And then as I was making it out, I became more compelled by the plant idea. And so that's kind of what led to Kasi, I guess. And then all that evolution stuff was thrown out, and it's just a game where you build stuff.
Right. That's really cool. So like it essentially you wanted to be able to have it be a game that people could play even if they're blind, essentially.
No, Kasi didn't start out that way. No,
It didn't start out that way. No.
that's what I was doing immediately before. I was working
Right.
on it, and then I just gave up on that because it was
Yeah,
really
because it was just too
complicated.
difficult to
Yeah,
figure
and
out
I
a way to
couldn't
do
get
it.
motivated about it, and so then I
Right.
moved on to this.
Yeah. So, but it did start out like you trying to find something, and then like all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like, wait, but this is really really cool. So
yeah.
maybe I can work on with this, and I can get back to this after I've grown my skill a little more. Maybe you'll come back to it in the future.
Well,
right?
it's a matter. It might be a matter of growing skills, but what I wanted in that one of those games was like no dialogue choices.
Mhm.
That you would just press buttons on the controller to speak this alien language, and I tried to make the language so simple that they would just be able to understand you.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys are frozen for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted it to be simple enough that like you just pressing these things would put together like ideas into words, and they would be able to understand you. But it turns out that like
Hold it.
processing natural language, no matter how simple, is sure. It might be my fault, the internet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like the internet might be having a hard time. I'm pretty sure our internet's fine right now. I'll like run a quick test on here, double check, but hopefully nothing serious. I don't think we have any severe weather alerts or anything. Right? We should be good.
Just rain.
Yeah, just rain, some basic rain. Right.
We do have a question from the comments.
Oh, sick.
Um,
Hey, Tim.
They're wanting to know what the inspiration for the name for the game came from.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's a good. There's a language. There's a constructed language, a made-up language that was made. I don't know, probably. I want to say 2005, 2007. It's called Toki Pona, which is if you get the book about it, it's subtitled "The Language of Good," and it's a language that only has 120 canonical words.
Okay.
And so every idea that you talked about, you construct basically compounds. You string words together and they gain meanings. And so it's super simple to learn. Like I learned the whole thing in like 2 days.
Right.
Because it's just there's barely anything there. And so Kasi in Toki Pona means plant.
Oh, okay.
Huh. That's
and so
really cool.
If you look at all the achievements for the game, the achievements are also in Toki Pona.
Oh, okay.
So like the achievement for say like growing.
I need to write this down.
Like the achievement for being able to like grow and like have enough energy to grow for the first time is called Kamawawa, which literally means like to. Kama means like to come to arrive, and Wawa is strength, and so it's like to arrive at strength to grow.
Oh.
Right.
Like
Okay.
or like the one for first growing a fruit is called kili sui, which kili means like fruit or vegetable, and sui means like sweet or cute or something like that.
Oh.
Right.
So it's like delicious fruit.
Right. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, this is amazing. I'm looking at this right now. Learn Tokipona. Dude, I had no idea that this existed. That is such a cool idea.
The community for it's pretty small,
Right.
but because the language is so easy, it's pretty easy to get into also.
Yeah, I kind of want to learn it now. Like, I'm still in the middle of learning Japanese, but I'll learn this, especially if it only takes 2 days. That'd be so awesome. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Not gonna lie. Okay, cool. So that's the inspiration for the name. And of course, Tim also mentioned. Yeah, I know Kai was lagging. Tim's response for favorite game of all time. Only one answer: Rocket League.
I never really got into Rocket League. I did play League of Legends for a long time, several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's kind of there's a lot to like, but there's a lot to not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the only MOBA I've ever played that I like was okay with. It's kind of like it's the MOBA for preschoolers. It's the preschool version of MOBAs, the Heroes of the Storm. I love that one so much.
Well, when you said MOBA for preschoolers, I was thinking of the Cartoon Network MOBA, Where,
What? There actually is something like that?
Yeah, where all the characters are Cartoon Network characters.
Oh,
That's pretty wild.
Okay,
I didn't-
actually didn't know about that.
I didn't know about that either. Wow, you are more up to date than us, and we work at GameStop. We need to get on our game.
Another comment says takes me back to learning Esperanto and giving up on it.
Yeah, Esperanto. I used to learn that with we actually started doing that a while back. It's a cool language as well. I don't know if you've ever heard of Esperanto.
No, for sure. Yeah.
It's
a little. I know it's a little more complex. It's like
Yeah.
more like closer to a natural language, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was developed by a vision doctor, I think. He wanted to create a language that was neutral, right? That
Yeah.
it drew heavily on the like his is it romance languages like side of
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
Yeah, romance language side of things, but it's just supposed to be a neutral language for all to be able to speak, and it sounded pretty neat, especially it'd be pretty great if you're gonna be a politician someday in the future and everybody's like, yeah, let's actually make that's never gonna happen because people don't like change, right? But let's never say never.
I'm super interested in languages.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I mean, English is the only one I can really speak fluently, but I know a good amount of Spanish, and I know enough like Japanese to know that ningen is human, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. But like I would hope that with Esperanto, even if it's more complicated and you still have to take time to learn it, does it have like, I don't know, irregulars or conjugation or any of the stuff that makes like learning a language hard?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it is different than I think. Let's see.
I mean, I'm saying like other than like vocab and simple grammar, because like with say when you're learning English or Spanish or anything, there's all these like irregular words that you have to just learn that they're exceptions to the rule, and so just know them.
Right.
And I would if I was constructing a language, I wouldn't put any of those in there because it's just another gotcha and more like mental load to put on the learner.
Yeah, like at the level of like Japanese I reached, I was like, wow, this is getting a little weird sometimes. Yeah. Like every once in a while, it's really, really weird. But Esperanto, I don't think I got far enough, if so, to actually have those weird things show up. Like the last thing I remember learning to say was la malbella bebo danzas rapide, which literally means the ugly baby dances quickly.
It sounds almost like a mix between, I don't know, like Spanish and Italian.
Yeah, it does.
And so I know that the U.S. government keeps a language difficulty index that they use for like I don't know, just diplomats and people that have to, if they work for the government, that have to go to other countries. And so I'm pretty sure that Japanese is in the highest tier, with an asterisk that says it's harder than all the other things in the highest tier for English speakers to learn.
Right. Yeah.
And you've got like Spanish and French and like Afrikaans in tier 1. Like,
yeah.
You went for the hardcore language learning.
Yes, I did. I mean, like, especially if you're dealing with like written language specifically, because like I mean. Yeah, it's pretty simple when you deal with hiragana. However, let's just be honest.
Yeah, like the katakana and the kanji. And...
The katakana is pretty simple because, it's just basically another form.
Yeah.
It's just used for, foreign words to them, So like English words or something.
Yeah.
Pancakey, But the thing is, like, and I was saying this to Faith the other day. I was like, well, you do end up having to learn kanji. Like, even if, like, yeah, hiragana is everywhere. Absolutely, you are correct. However, you're gonna need to learn kanji, and so I pulled up an example of just like a simple, manga, a basic manga, and there was kanji all over throughout, like with the hiragana. Well, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, yeah, because and there's some basic ones, right? There's a lot of like common ones, so there's some that you can focus in on more than others. So it is simpler than that, but. Yeah, it is strange.
And so in America, and I guess for most English-speaking countries, you know how to read mostly by the time you're like, what, 7 or 8 at the most? And then, but from what I know, like in Japan, they're still learning like more kanji, like well into middle school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which it seems weird to be like that old and not know how to read everything.
Yeah. So I mean,
And it's not. It's just that it's so complicated, and they have to.
Yeah.
right.
And on the other hand, too, besides them still learning that kanji, they may have an option to also learn like other languages like English or, you know,
Yeah.
that's another part of it as well. So.
Yeah, like most everybody in Japan at least knows a little bit of English. They know a fair bit. Like they can like stumble about sometimes, you know. The vast majority of the time, if they're still learning the language in Japanese, it is kanji. Like because like you get into that like later on, because most of the stuff for kids is just hiragana. Just focus on this hiragana, katakana. Hiragana.
It's just like writing children's books using small words in English, right?
Yeah. In fact, when I was trying to learn how to just read in Japanese, and I just wanted to focus on hiragana, there was literally a book I was looking for specifically called like, it was made for like first graders and stuff.
I don't
to
think
read.
that's what you want, right? That makes sense that you'd want to start with like the children's materials.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. One of my friends is actually learning Japanese, and what he started out with was children's books like Aladdin. I think one of them was like Pinocchio, and there was a few other ones that were children books that he was using as like a way to learn like the basic Japanese language. And he's still learning it and everything, but he definitely knows more now than he did like whenever he was first starting.
Right.
So
It's really cool. Anyway, we got real focused on Japanese there, but it is very interesting. All of it, all of the different languages. So yeah, that's clearly, so that's really a passion of yours, is language. Yeah. So like I can see the flair of that passion, especially if like all of the achievements are in, you know, I forgot the name of it already. What is it? What's the name of the language again? I think we lost him. We lost him.
Oh no.
We lost him, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
We got you. No worries. It's technical difficulties.
My internet's
Everyone.
not perfect.
Yeah, that's all right. Nor is ours. Like we got Spectrum. Like we don't trust them whatsoever. Like at all. Consistency. Like it's kind of funny. You go into things like Down Detector, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, so how do you rate your internet over the last several months?" It's like it's just nothing but down. Yeah, 1 star. Thank you. If I could, I'd give you none. Thanks. But yeah, it seems so. I don't know what last did you hear from us? Like, what was the last thing you heard?
We're just saying, languages are interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I was gonna ask is what I was saying was that clearly, if all of your stuff that you put on, all of your achievements on there were Toki, I can't remember what it's called. Tokipona.
Which literally means good. It literally means good language or good talk. Good
talk. Tokipona or Tokipona. Like clearly, that's like that's something that's really close to you personally. Language.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's really cool. That it's so simple, and it's fun to try to like construct because there's words that we have in English that you're like, how would I say this? And there's barely anything to construct. Like, how would you say, like, I don't know, regret?
Yeah.
You have to probably string like 4 or 5 words together to build that concept up. But I don't know, it's fun, it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool. Language in general is very cool. It's cool to see that that's something that's really close to your heart, is language, and you know that's interesting. Yeah. So let's get back to the list though. We keep on going down rabbit holes, which is great because I love that. I love going down rabbit holes.
I figured that was kind of the point.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's going. So this is the smoothest it's gone so far. Knock on wood. So far on stream, I'm pretty excited and pretty happy about it. So yeah, hopefully we can keep this kind of thing rolling. It's really cool. So what about what about game development, right? That's a side of things. Oh, I'm guessing it's probably computer languages, but that's a shot in the dark. But what drew you into the idea of becoming a game developer? Like,
yeah, so I mean, I learned how to. My major that I went to college for was called computer science and engineering. So it's mostly about like how to program, but it's also about like just how computers work in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I first got into it. And so when you're first learning, you're learning like really low level stuff. But when you look for a job, like in just the modern job market, probably like 70, 75, 80% of the jobs you're going to find are in web development.
Right.
And what little I had done of web development in college, and then the little bit that I tried after, I learned that I just hated it. It's to me, it was like, it's complicated because there's a lot of moving parts. There's what's happening on the client's end, there's what's happening on the server end. There's there's syncing those two things up. There's managing, I don't know, your compute resources and your data resources. There's all this stuff you have to think about. And at the end, all you've made is a website, which isn't like super. I mean, we use them every day, but they're not like super interesting. You know. And so what I was doing when I went to the job I worked at the tail end of college, and then after, it was at an electrical contracting company, basically. And so they did electrical prefab, so that there was a construction that was happening. They built all the outlets and stuff in a shop and then shipped them to the job site. And what I did for them originally was R&D, because the CEO wanted to build. He had a whole grand vision of the future of construction where robots did everything. And so he had me and a couple other guys from my school. He hired us as interns initially to design robots for that purpose, like prototype robots for that purpose. And that's when I kind of realized that I prefer that kind of lower level stuff, because you got to get, I don't know, it's a lot more, it's complex in a different way than something like web development is.
Right.
And whereas in web development, you have to account for like, I don't know, the distance between like the client and the server. With that, everything's right there. And the pain point at that point is like hardware failure, which happens constantly. And I just had to say like, oh, I'm the computer guy, electrical, mechanical, you guys handle that. But I mean, after that, one time my boss came to me, he said like, oh, stop what you're doing. We have this project that needs to get out the door. We need to get it quoted. So here's how you do this process. And it's this entire process of marking up like blueprints and stuff so that they can get a quote to get an estimate out. And it was awful because they were doing it in some like PDF editor. And I was like, wow, and after I finished, I went to my boss and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Please let me make you a program for it that can make it way easier. And they said, okay. And so then for the next like year and a half, 2 years, that's what I was working on there. And that's when so it was this whole like graphical thing. That's when I really learned that I like to do like simple graphics and stuff.
Right.
And I took a lot of the stuff that I had learned just doing my own little game prototypes and applied it to that. So, I mean, it was this program that was designed for like electrical construction design, but it ran like a video game.
That's kind of neat.
I tried to like make it as close to standard like CAD software as you could, but it was programmed like a video game.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so like I always liked, I don't know, I liked playing video games, and once I knew how to program, I always had fun making them. And so it was just a matter of finding something that I could stick with and that I thought was interesting enough and I thought would be fun enough for people to play.
Right. That's awesome. That's really cool. So wow. So you got sounds almost like me. I've got a big vision for the future. Sounds like your boss is a very big picture kind of person, I'm guessing. Yeah. That's funny. I was literally like picturing guy. Yeah, I have a vision. Like I believe we can do this. And you're talking about him, and you're talking about.
Well, yeah, it's just too bad it didn't work out.
Yeah. Jeez, it's wild. So, anyway, sorry, my mind's going like 6 different directions, and sometimes it's hard to like refocus on like the one topic that's actually more important. It's like,
I
rabbit
think
holes.
you asked how I got into like games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we were going over, and the whole process. It's pretty cool to think that like you actually developed the program to run like a game, and I can kind of picture that in my mind. I'm kind of.
I mean, so Kasi doesn't use like Unity or any kind of like pre-built engine or something. It's just code.
Oh wow.
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Down from the beginning, all code. Just
Yeah.
like
so I mean, I built I wrote. I mean, I
you
kind of
built
had
the
like
actual.
I started with
engine
like this library
for
that's
it.
kind of like the skeleton of an engine,
Mm.
and then I put that all together and added like sound handling and all this other stuff to it to make
Mm.
what it is now.
That's pretty cool. Nice. So I know. Like, all right. Forget it. I'm thinking too hard about like the program that you were working on, that you were developing before.
Yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, it wasn't that interesting a program. Just
right. It was to replace their PDF editor, basically.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, the problem was that it got to the point where they kind of pinned their business on it,
Mhm.
and they weren't able to adequately market it to people who might want to use it themselves.
Huh.
That's why the company shut down.
Mm.
I mean, it
Too
is
bad.
what it is, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, doesn't always work out, but keep on doing. Let's see. So now you got to the point. Now we're making Kasi. I'm actually saying Kasi now. Awesome. I got it. And let's see. We actually have it running in the background. We'll get to it when we get to it. But so talk about that's what I was going to get at before, right? No, we'll talk about that during the game. What do I want to talk about now? We already discussed how the idea of the game came about. Right. Okay. So what are some of the most difficult things that you had to overcome in making the game?
I mean, part of it is and something I'm still trying to overcome, I guess, would be performance. Because currently, right now, if you make a really big plant and
Mhm.
you try to look at all of it at once, your frame rate is going to drop quite a bit.
Oh.
Okay, got it.
And it's just because there's so much stuff to draw, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's so many options on screen for
it's
for it.
because for every leaf, for every branch, it has to draw a lot of geometry. Well, it's
Right.
I mean, it's not that much, but it's still a good amount.
Mm.
And so before it can draw all the geometry, it has to do all the calculations for what that geometry needs to be. Because there's things like I don't know if you saw from like the videos or anything, but like there's a gentle swaying in the wind and stuff. So every frame it has to calculate.
That.
Oh, based on the wind, where is this thing now? Where is it now? And then redraw it in that spot. And so, I mean, that's the biggest thing that I've been trying to fix, and I still haven't been able to come up with it. But other than that, it's not the programming side, but the design side, and
Right.
making a game that is fun to play. Because I had lots of ideas initially, and then I gave out like prototype to a couple of my friends to try out. And like, oh, this is really cool, but this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'd be cool if this happened or this. Oh, maybe this needs to be tweaked.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of been just trial and error of what works and what doesn't. And there's lots of just like I have a whole file that's dedicated to numbers that contribute to balancing, because you have to manage like all these resources as a plant. And the only way to see what works and what doesn't is to set a number and then play it and see if that works or it doesn't.
Right.
And then beyond that, there's how do you keep a person engaged? Because like when I initially made it, you grow and stuff during the day, and then you get to nighttime, and you're like, oh, what do I do now? Just wait till the daytime. And so I had to give them something that they were still able to do during night, and some compelling reason to continue. And I've tried to add like some I don't know, some amount of, I don't know, progression, so that you feel like you're working towards something. There's all these different factors that are just part of game design that I'd never gotten to the point where that would, like, into making a game where that was a concern I had to have. It was always just making the prototype and seeing if like it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time I've had to like actually think about things like design.
Right. Okay. Very cool. I actually kind of want to get into the game now, since we're already talking about the game and like design and stuff. So that's all right. We're gonna go ahead and try and switch it over. This is so far been the most complicated procedure. Is always switching it over. I don't have somebody in charge of like the Streamlabs like some YouTubers out there. So I have to like move stuff around on screen. Let's see. All right. So that's gonna be in the background. Just wanted to make sure that was there first, so we don't end up showing off everything on our desktop. All right, so move that over there. View, speaker view. I'm actually kind of curious as to. Oh, that's kind of weird. That's not gonna be the same as like normal.
I mean, I'm just hoping that it runs okay. It doesn't crash or anything.
Right.
As you're trying to demo it.
Yeah.
And from most of the feedback I've got from people, it's pretty stable. So hopefully, no problems.
So here, if I have like, let's say, picture of you on the left and then me on the right, do you think that's gonna mess anything up?
No, and as long as the top left corner has your like your stat bars, your resource bars. So I mean that might be good to see.
Right.
But as long as you can cover that up, you can zoom in and out and pan wherever you want. So you should be able to position anything you want to see in frame.
Okay.
Right. Cool. You know, we could just hide ourselves. That works too. You know what? We'll just have you on screen. How's that? We'll ask you questions. You're gonna be on the bottom left explaining things. People will be learning stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Right, Streamlabs. And I'm gonna look at it real quick. Make sure it looks. Oh my gosh, Okay, yeah, it looks good. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how it looks. So we're gonna get back to the game. We're gonna unpause it. And here we are. So use left mouse to grow, right mouse to adjust and retract. Oh, you can't. It should be shared with you.
This says you are viewing Team Ningan Gaming screen. I don't see I see you guys fine. I don't see the game itself.
Interesting. Okay, let me check. Speaker view. Oh, actually, let me go over here. Escape. That's your
Oh,
screen
sorry.
share.
I see it now. My bad.
See it now?
It was my fault. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
No worries.
If you're gonna start out, I would click new plant.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. New plant. Oh, pause. Yeah. And we're gonna actually grab that, put that back up there. We're gonna go Control Shift H. It's disappeared. Cool. All right. All right. So here we go. Wait, did I unpause it?
If you click, it'll automatically unpause.
Okay.
Oh, press H again. You hit the UI.
Yeah. There we go.
So
Right.
Press H.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. We got a plant coming down the ground.
If you guys, as long as like the streaming, you guys can hear it, because I can't hear any of the sound from the game.
Oh, really? You can't hear it at all?
I don't need to, but I would think you'd want the viewers to be able to hear it.
Oh, they should be able to hear it. So the audio is coming just desktop audio. So basically everything, including like you from on the.
Sure. Yeah. I don't need to be able to hear it. I know what it sounds like.
Okay. All right. As long as you're okay with it. All right. Let's see. Looks like everything's fine on there. So we'll. H and then. Okay. So gotcha. I see what you were saying earlier. And it looks like, okay, that's interesting. So you get energy, light, water. Okay, cool. I'll start another plant because I've done this too much. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Now, add that And that. Whoa, okay, gotcha. Can I, like, remove this? There it is. So now it's like an actual sprout. Perfect. Kind of like what's up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the audience can't see that, so that's okay. All right, so I'm not really entirely sure what's going on.
So I tried to make this as much as possible so that you don't.
Yeah, the viewers can hear the sound in the game, so
What?
they can hear the sound in the game.
Thanks. Sorry, say that again?
I tried to make this as much as possible so that you could discover how to play and learn it without too much direction. But it got to the point where people were playing it and they're like, "What do I do?" And so whenever you see an arrow pointing to something, that's me answering your question. What do I do?
Huh? What do I do?
I don't know. So you just saw an arrow pointing to that star and you clicked it
Right.
and it exploded. So now you know that you
I
do
can
that.
click stars for light.
And
for
yeah,
light.
you notice your light bar going up. So like I was saying before, like night got really boring. What do you do?
Give yourself some light.
And so what if you could just, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense from a simulation perspective, but it's something like, I don't know, some game to play.
Okay, I guess I don't have enough energy to do that.
So I don't know if you saw the controls before. So left is to like
Adjust.
branch out.
Oh.
And no, right click is to adjust or retract. So
Mhm.
you can move anything around if you just right click it.
Right.
And so then you see that message there that I had to add because people weren't sure how they could make their plant taller.
Let energy fill to grow taller. Got it. Okay, so yeah, that didn't seem to. So I can't really grow taller just yet.
Yeah, no.
That's the point in which. Okay, got it. Okay.
And so
Collect
the
more
design is-
energy is basically what you're saying.
yeah.
Collect-
Well, so the design is you have to use energy to grow more branches and leaves, but at the same time, leaves give you more sunlight to get more energy.
Right.
So when I'm starting out, I just usually try to make tons and tons of leaves. You have to have roots to supply enough water to match.
No.
So, how long have you been working on this game?
Since before release, it was probably about a month and a half, I want to say.
Okay.
So not that long, but I plan on working on it for another 2 or 3 months, just to add some more features.
Right.
Right, that's what I was gonna ask you earlier. Like, what? So you mentioned in a patch that you're, or not a patch, update that you were gonna be working on, adding animals and.
Yeah, so I mean, they wouldn't really do much. They would like, I don't know, it rains sometimes, and they'd like hide under your branches or they'd climb on. It's just a nice aesthetic thing to have.
Right. Okay.
Then what I'm working on right now is adding. I don't know if you think about like how Minecraft has texture packs. I'm gonna add like color packs, so it would change the colors of everything and that you can configure. So if you want to have like a plant that has like cherry blossom pink in the spring, you could do that.
Oh, okay.
And you would be able to set it specific to each plant, so each one could be a different color, and there'd be some default, which is what you're seeing now. And there's other, I don't know, there's other things like I want to add more weathers. Oh, and so I don't know if you can tell that those are changing color.
Yeah.
So now that they're a different color, you might be able to do something with them.
Okay. Like make them taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Branching out. All right, that's what I like to see. Okay, that one's already got all of its stuff. All right. So that's another thing. Oh, does it? Are they? Matt, speak. Brain, Matt. Okay. I'm just all over the place. I don't care. I'm probably gonna have to have.
That's what most people do when they start out. Is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't no smart guy when it come how planks work.
So
that's what I was. Yeah.
Something you could try real quick is right click a leaf that's next to another one and overlap them. So take 2 leaves that are coming off the same branch
Okay.
and overlap them.
Oh! Whoa! Nice. Is
And
this...
so a lot of this information, the only way you really find out is by clicking that hints menu in the menu, because I wasn't sure how else to convey it. That's kind of just a placeholder until I can find a better way. But this just gives you a bunch of information about how to play, basically.
Exposed to sunlight, leaves turn water into energy, right? Roots increase water absorption, right? Longer leaves absorb more life, right? Clicking stars gives extra light at night. Overlap leaves to absorb moonlight instead of sunlight. Whoa! Okay. That's what that is. That's cool. Alright, full energy. Let's...
So I don't know if you told that little tiny leaf you made.
Yeah, that will absorb moonlight, right?
It just lit up a little bit. Because if you go back to the game
Mm-hmm.
and then scroll out.
Oh, the moon is out.
So it's not just like they get light at night, it's they get light when the moon's out, whether it's night or not.
Right.
Because the moon and the sun go at different speeds.
Right. Huh.
And that leads to things like solar and lunar eclipses as well.
Right.
Which you might see if you play long enough.
Right. Man, like I am not an artistic dude. Whoa, hey, look at this. What's going on here? They turned white.
They light up a little bit.
Oh, okay, they just light up a little bit.
How much? I mean, so there's all this information about playing the game that, I mean, part of this, one of the things I had to think about when developing it was how much do I like explain to the player and how much do I let them figure out on their own?
Right.
Because I mean, obviously you notice that those light up at night, but you don't know, you might not know that they lit up because you clicked those stars, and the more stars you click, the brighter they'll get. It'll be really subtle because you've already clicked a bunch of them, but yeah.
Right.
But and then the more like little rooty fingers you have,
Right.
the more stars you need to light them up.
Right.
But there's all those little things. Oh, you got some birds on your branches too.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't see them. I'm like so focused on.
Aw.
Get out of here! Get out of here! This is my tree.
Achievement unlocked.
Hey, what was that? What was that achievement?
I missed that achievement.
Oh, it's Oweka A, which literally means get out of here.
Oh, I
Oh,
okay. Too funny. Nice. So it's literally what I just said. Get out of here. Funny.
Oh, there's rain.
Oh, you got some rain.
Yeah, plenty of water now. Although probably mildly less sunlight. Who knows?
Yes.
Hey, look at all this. Look at all this height we got. Look at all the height, Faith.
I see it.
I'm getting tall. I'm a tall boy. Dude, so I gotta ask you a question. It's like I'm like just trying to build my tree. Actually, Faith, why don't you take over? Here's the mouse. That's pretty much all you need, I think, right? You just need the mouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just need the mouse. I'm gonna try and move some. Actually, you know what? You can just sit right here.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna switch places.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a low frame rate. Is that just on my end, or is it actually like lagging?
No, it's not lagging. So it's probably just on your end.
Okay.
Awesome. So
You've come at the perfect time to see something on the screen.
Oh yeah, it's telling you to click somewhere. What at? Kasi Unga.
Kasi Oompa.
Oh, Oompa. I couldn't see the P.
So that's for growing a flower. And now you might notice you have a new bar,
Yeah, pink bar.
which you can mouse over to see what that is.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Oh, pollination. Very cool.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, let's see,
So sorry, real quick. I mean, you can keep clicking the stars as much as you want, but you have full energy, so they're not doing much for you.
Oh, okay.
oh, real quick. See the leaf is black. Zoom out.
Zoom out. Oh. Because there's, wait, what?
So that's a solar eclipse.
Oh yeah. So whenever a solar eclipse is happening, it just like literally blacks out the leaves that
The moon leaf, because
the moon leaf. Yeah.
The moon turned black in the sky, and so you'll notice, like, so during a lunar eclipse, when the moon turns red, it'll have a similar sort of effect.
Oh wow, that's cool. So I wanted to mention, I'm still just impressed with the idea that you literally wrote all of this from the ground up, every little bit of it. That's wild. That's super cool. Faith is already doing so much better than me. Look at that. That's crazy. Look at that. So tell me about the. Oh yeah, tell me about the animal thing. Like, how are you planning on programming that? Because, like, are you planning on, like, is it determined before they even show up on screen where they're gonna go and what they're gonna do? Like, is that how you're?
When I add animals, so there's two ideas I had for animals, and one would be more like a squirrel that like runs around the branches,
Mm-hmm.
and the other was something else. I'm not sure what it would be that would like come when it rains and take shelter, and you can get fruit later, and your fruit can drop off, and they would like come and eat that or something.
Huh.
But so they basically be either one of them though would just be a more complex version of the birds.
Right.
So there's just a random chance that a bird will spawn, and it finds a branch and a spot on that branch as soon as it spawns, and it just flies there, and then it sits there for a while, and then there's another random chance that it'll fly away, and it'll be like, I don't know, a decreased chance to fly away at night or when it's raining or something. Bye bye.
Yeah. See ya. What?
And so it's just stuff like that.
Is that pollen? Wait, that's not pollen, is it? What was that? What is that stuff?
It's birds.
Oh, it is birds. Okay, I was like, it was so floaty how it came down, or like how it went away. I was like, what is that? That's not a bird.
You can see the bugs pollinating the
It's right
flower.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Sorry, get back to what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, so you've noticed that there's no textures of any kind. It's all just shapes, colored shapes.
Oh yeah.
And so the code for the birds is literally draw a circle for the body, draw 2 circles and like squeeze them for the wings to make them fly. Draw a little triangle for the beak. It's all stuff like that. So the animals would just be like a more complex version of that, of drawing shapes in specific spots.
Oh, that's crazy. Huh. Okay. That's really cool.
And the logic controlling them would probably be a little more complicated as well.
Right. Huh. Like, because that's something I was wondering. Like, like how would you get around if it is like predetermined beforehand? Like,
What do you mean by predetermined?
Like, so before they show up on screen, right? You run a logic check quickly, and basically, okay, this animal is going to go to a branch. Basically, jump on a branch, let's say.
Yeah.
And it will climb the tree to go to that branch. What if, like, midway during its decision to go to that branch, you were deciding to just get rid of that branch? So it's how it would handle it and all of that.
Every time it makes a check for where the branch is right now to go to it, it would have to do that check, and if it's not there, then I don't know, do something else.
Yeah.
Run
around the tree instead.
The birds do that. If the bird has picked a branch and you delete the branch, it'll just turn around and leave.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
I like the disheveled nature of the plant.
You don't have to tell the birds to leave,
friends,
by the way, Faith. If you don't want to, if you want them on there, you can let them stay.
One of my friends, when he first played it, he made one that was like that, except like 3 times as crazy, with stuff going in every which way.
Huh. So here, when you make as you make the tree, oh, that's weird. What's that?
So sometimes basically there's there's all this stuff that went into making the thing look aesthetically good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if you've noticed, this mainline trunk that you have has gotten thicker.
Oh, I did not notice that.
And so the thickness of the branches is dependent on how far away they are from the root.
Right.
So whenever you grow a new leaf and it's too small to keep growing, it basically, like the code basically sends messages all the way back down to the root, and everything along that path says, okay, grow bigger so that it can support that distance.
Huh.
And what that leads to is that your paths of like most growth become the thickest, and so it looks more natural. I forget what you asked me. And like, oh, the reason that fell off is because sometimes what would happen is it would look really dumb, though, when you had a really thick part connected to a really thin part.
Right.
It was just this weird like triangle that as it went into that smaller part. So what happens is if a branch is way too small compared to like the part it's attached to, it falls off. And
Okay.
it's just, I think it looks cool, and there's like a falling of branches and leaves that like sway in the wind and stuff. And
Right.
yeah.
So question, pardon me. What is the why is it okay? If you remove, like, let's say, start removing your branches, and you just want to start building it up, like,
Yeah,
can you
you
actually just start doing
You
that?
totally can. And
Okay.
retracting branches also gives you the energy back.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
You
she
already
has
have full-
she has full energy right now, right? So
Yeah.
she can just like literally go back to I don't know. Can you adjust a like the bottom piece to like just try and make
No,
it
you
look
can
straight?
mostly only adjust stuff that's at the ends, and
Right.
to adjust stuff further down, you have to make them ends.
Right. So
So if
You
you
can-
right-click anything and drag it back to where it started, if you right-click a leaf and drag it back to where it started, it should get rid of it.
okay. So and we don't want to do that too much. We want to start going up, right? So we go up and we start using all our energy. And then after we use
Yeah.
our energy to go up, we start depleting the other leaves and limbs, and then keep on going up if we wanted to get nice and tall.
Yeah. Although the thing is that, and one of the balance things that I haven't necessarily been able to work out is that basically you get to the point where you're never hurting for energy
Right.
as long as you have leaves.
Mhm.
And because you have so many that you just get it back. And the problem is if you make that harder, it makes the early game harder. And so it's hard to balance the early game being playable, but the later game still being challenging.
Mhm.
So yeah, normally you get to a point where, which you're at right now, that you're not really hurting for energy, so it doesn't really matter. The only thing that's really limiting your growth is time, because the growth to be able to grow taller takes time.
Oh, okay. So that's another thing. You you did include that. So,
So
time is
take
a
that very top
factor.
one and make it go straight up, or take any part and just So you can't go any further because you have to wait for that part to grow.
Mhm.
Okay, that explains some things.
That's at this point, time is your limiting factor, basically.
Right. However, that basically you do have to like grow it out first, and then you wait, and then you grow it out, and then you wait. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. I think I got it. Oh, maybe. Hopefully.
And so some things one thing you might not see necessarily just from this session is that there are also like seasons.
Yeah.
And so you can probably see it from some of the Steam screenshots. There's a picture of a big tree during fall with all the leaves different colors.
It was so cool. I did see that. In fact, I was showing that off like every time like I had a friend over and was asking about like, oh yeah, who are you interviewing next? I'm like, oh yeah, we're interviewing Kai. He's making Kasi. Here's the game. And like I would bring up that picture. I'm like, that looks so cool.
Yeah. Well, so originally there's all these little aesthetic things that I changed. So
Yeah.
Originally the game, see how everything has outlines on it? It didn't have those. It didn't have those outlines, and it looks just flatter. And you can turn them off in the settings if you want, but it just makes it look flatter. And so there are all these little things I did to make, I don't know, give it more, I guess, depth. I did, and then when I added the shadows, I was really excited because I thought they looked really cool. You notice, like during the day, there's like the god rays going through the branches.
Yeah, that was pretty cool looking. I really liked that.
And that's what makes the screenshots like that one on the Steam page, I think, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I liked was I think it was during a like I don't know if it's considered a harvest moon or a blood moon or what.
It's the same in real life. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I
Lunar
think those.
eclipse.
Yeah. So the one that's like reddish looking, I saw.
Yeah,
like,
so that one
that's a
on
pretty
in the
cool picture.
screenshots, that one's all moon leaves.
All moon leaves,
Yeah,
really.
and so the moon leaves turn red during a blood moon, and they get you can actually boost your. So there's an achievement for it where the achievement state is boost your energy past the theoretical maximum during a blood moon, because the moon leaves get like 15 times energy from the blood moon, and so you'll actually see your bar, your yellow bar there, turn red and just go past all the other ones and just break out of its path.
That's kind of cool. So what? Okay, like, is that even a viable option to only have moon leaves though?
Yeah. So they're slightly. I mean, I've tried to balance everything, right? So they're less efficient. They get less light from the moon than the regular ones do from the sun.
Right.
But also during a blood moon, they get a ton of energy, and then also during the fall, they don't fall off.
True. Okay. That's pretty cool.
And so another thing, well, it doesn't look like you found it. Is there's like vines too. And then if you had enough flowers, you would be able to grow fruit, but it doesn't look like you don't have any flowers right now. Although there's a couple that I can see that could be flowers. Oh, look at that! Look at that moon. So if you zoom out, you should be able to see it.
See the blood moon because it's red. That leaf. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it tints the whole tree a kind of reddish.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
That is pretty.
Faith, look at the tree.
I know.
What the heck on? That is so cool. Like this all started from like some little dumb looking plant that I was just like at the bottom.
So
but it looks really nice now. It's like that's pretty satisfying.
Why did
Feels
that
pretty
branch
good.
disappear?
What's that?
I think it's probably because you grew to that the parts attached to got too thick, so it fell off.
Right. It's no longer a
Oh.
leaf.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you zoom in a little to the left of where your mouse is, see those leaves that have little white outlines on them?
I think so.
So you
Yeah.
zoom in a little more. You should be able to see it.
I see them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah. So that
So
can
if you-
become a fruit, I'm guessing, right?
Like think of a flower.
It can be a flower. Okay.
Oh, and it's
look,
gone.
it's gone. Too slow, Faith. Too slow.
Yeah, you gotta catch it. And those will just appear naturally as you're growing it, an opportunity to make flowers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's
so you guys haven't discovered it, but like, so you get enough flowers, you get enough pollination, you can grow fruit. But one thing you can do right now is just pick any spot and grow a leaf straight down.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll
That's
be right
probably-
back.
That's
One
for
sec.
our friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just get okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go get him.
No, you're fine.
This is Parker. Parker's Faith's boyfriend. They can't see you over there.
I know.
Yeah, they have a friend coming over, I guess. So.
Okay, so you said take a branch and put it straight down?
Just pick any spot, yeah, that preferably like a horizontal place, and take a leaf, or take a leaf and grow it straight down.
Okay.
Straight
Like that?
down.
A little more to the left, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's vines, I'm guessing, huh?
Yeah, and so
Okay.
now just drag. That has no limit, so just drag it. Just keep going.
Yeah, it has to connect to something. It's a vine.
So you can go
Sorry.
on the ground, and then except you can climb into the branches also. You have to have something to climb on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should. Oh, you left click it. Sorry. It has to have a branch to climb on. So go toward the closest branch that you want to go on. There you go.
Oh, cool.
It makes me so uncomfortable just thinking that that vine is all over that tree. It like makes that like in that that instinct in me. I gotta go get my little cutters and like go take care of the tree.
It's funnier too then because it's part of the tree.
I know, but it's part of the tree. It's like
so
what the heck?
You can grow leaves off the vines as well. You've already got one at the very end of it that I see.
Leaves off of the vines. Oh. Oh yeah.
Oh, I see.
So normally you just to grow a vine off sideways, let it go, and
Oh, you just made a root for the vine. It's grabbing onto the ground. It looks like.
I mean, what's fun to do sometimes is you just take a thick branch and grow a vine down from it, and just go far off in one direction, and then you go back into the ground and make roots, and then you just grow another plant that's connected to the old one.
Really? Okay. So you can actually make a small little forest thing going.
Yeah, you can. You can. There's a
And,
screenshot on the Steam page of kind of the beginnings of that.
Right. Yeah, I kind of remember that. That's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, man, how the heck does that work? But yeah, that's. So they're all connected. So ultimately, you could actually have like one giant tree in the center, and just have like it's using the energy from all these other little trees. Like I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be huge.
I mean, if you go down and you take any of your roots and you just drag them to the surface, they'll make another plant as well.
Oh.
Okay.
They have to be wide enough to go that far though. So those little tiny ones probably won't work.
Oh.
Right.
If you take one
Okay.
of the-
Cool.
The thicker ones closer to the base though.
So you can basically make it a redwood forest.
Your performance would probably take a hit with that much going on. But
Well,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. Nice. So there's a little second tree next to our tree.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What I mean is like all the trees will be connected underneath, like underground, as opposed to like just
Yes.
making little vines
Which
to like
happens
make them.
which happens in real life too. That's
Right.
where I kind of got the inspiration from it.
Right. That's what like the redwood forests would look like underground because they're all connected.
Well,
Like
I
I remember
know that,
researching a while back. I was
The
like,
largest
that's really
the largest organism in the world is an aspen grove that's all one tree. I want to say it's in like Wyoming or something.
That's funny. Largest organism in the world. Just because they're all connected, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it's all the same DNA in every single one of them too. They're all the same plant.
That's crazy. That boggles my mind. That tickles my brain thing.
And so hopefully you guys have gotten like a feel for it. It's just meant to be
Yeah.
like a relaxing, simple simulation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I guess I haven't been, but you guys have been hearing the sounds the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, so this is something that like you can do, and you can just like, all right, I got some time to kill, and like before the next Zoom meeting with a interviewer, an interviewee, and so I'll just like grow my tree a little more, and you can just work on it bit by bit over the days, huh?
You can have as many as you want. You can save them and load them and stuff.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's super cool, dude. Let's
That's
see
looking
what's
pretty
on
good,
this
I think.
Thank you.
side. Way to go, Faith.
Yeah.
What time is it? What? Okay, so we're going for about an hour and 17 minutes. So what? Gosh, we've already covered design choices. We've covered a lot of the programming stuff. I mean, is there anything else that you want to add? Because like I can't think of more questions to ask.
Not really. I mean, I guess I just say like there's a few more things about like the process, maybe.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember at one point I was trying to, I was wondering like, should you be able to pick when you start? Oh, I want this to be a tree. I want this to be a bush. I want this to be a vine. And then I thought, no, I'll simplify it. And so what you end up being is what you make essentially. If you want to make a giant tree, you can. If you want to make a little bush with lots of colorful fruit, you can. It's meant to be just guided by however you feel like doing it. There's no like restrictions on it.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
It's definitely like it's clear that it worked out too, because like
Yeah.
it's doing what it's supposed to. Like
Well, and there
we're
was
kind of
that-
making up our mind. She's kind of making up her mind what she wants to do. Obviously, we probably aren't going to do much with the vine there, but.
Well, yeah, there was like I don't know. There's the cool moment when like I got the first basic like prototype and I started playing it. I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of fun.
Mhm.
Like it was just at first it was just like an experiment, right?
Yeah.
And I start making it. I'm like, oh, there could be a lot more to this. It would be really cool. And so that's what I've done.
Yeah. Dude, this is super awesome. Thanks
Thank
for
you. Thank
thanks
you.
for sharing it with us too.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for showing it.
Here. Let's go back. I kind of want to lost a limb. All right, let's do the boogie and move around each other again. Go. I'm gonna drop the camera by doing that. All right, dude. All right, we will pause that. We'll actually keep the sharing on just because of the fact that allows us to actually be on the same screen here. Oh, what just happened? Moved. Here we go. Yeah, you can see yourself now, huh? Zoom cams. And we will do view, gallery view. Why does he keep doing that? What's going
Yeah,
on? Zoom is acting funky.
I don't really use Zoom, so yeah, it is kind of weird.
Oh, that's the problem. I forgot. I actually clicked to hide the show. There it is. Show self view. That's the problem. I fixed it. Cool. It's all Matt's. It's all Matt's fault. just
Still
blame
an
me.
adjustment, so you're good.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah, I don't know if we're even gonna keep using Zoom or not. So far, it's been pretty good, right? Like, it looks way better than
I
Discord.
personally prefer Discord myself.
Well, that's the thing. Like, oop, I accidentally unhooked my headphones. Like, my problem with Discord is the fact that, like, it's all like little like round pieces, and like I don't know, like I don't know if there's a way to fix it, but like the first video we did was on Discord, and it was mirrored, right? Your self view is mirrored because often people don't like looking at themselves the other way around. I'm used to it. I used to do like a lot of videos, but a lot of people don't like it. So it was like mirrored. So like the arrow was actually over there, and it was all the writing was backwards.
The text is
and,
backwards.
Yeah. So that was a thing. I don't know how to fix, and I don't know. It was a little odd. I'm kind of just hoping that it'll do the things I want it to do. Maybe I'll try it again. I'll give it another shot. We'll see. I'm gonna like do some testing with like force Faith and Parker to get on, and we'll like try and like make it work. We'll figure something out.
I would think that there was something like in the settings, like video settings or something, to where you can like flip that.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably find that. It's just like it was a hassle. I didn't really know how to deal with it, and I was looking for something with better video quality as well. Because I did want it to be like better video quality. It's just it wasn't the greatest. I'm not gonna lie. All right, cool, dude. Sorry, we were talking about ourselves too much. Dude, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for sharing your game with us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for
it was a lot of fun.
This was really cool.
It's very pretty as well. So
it was an awesome game.
I'm really glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're glad that you made it. It's super cool. Like I love the fact that you seem like a really awesome dude. You love
Thanks.
language. Yeah. Thank you. You love languages that you're implementing like that into the game. Like all of those things are really, really neat. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like your game blew up. Like just because it's so
that's
cool.
The hope. That is
the hope. Yeah, don't we all want that to happen? But yeah, this is really cool. I look forward to your next updates and everything. Is there anything you want to tell the world?
Not really. Just there are going to be more updates, and I don't know, try it out if you like it.
Do you
Yeah.
do you have any like social media you want to plug in, or?
I don't really use social media, which may not be the best thing when you're trying to maybe promote a game, but
right. Yeah, that's why I posted on your Steam page. Yeah. I was like, I don't know how to contact this dude. I can't find him anywhere, but it looks really cool. I want to contact him, so I just
I definitely need more modes of communication. But the good places to I don't know, contact me if you need to is there's the Steam community where you went. Mm-hmm. There's an r/Kasi, which which was created in 2014, and I had to get ownership from somebody who hadn't been on Reddit for 5 years. But there's that. That's a good spot. And there's a Discord too that's listed on the Steam page.
Okay, very cool. Awesome, dude. Thanks again for showing up. And thank you everybody that showed up. It looked like we have had 2 concurrent viewers. Nice, 2 people stopped by. Awesome.
At one point we had 3.
Really nice. Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 viewers right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for showing up. This was Kai. Go check out. I just blanked on the name. We've said it a billion times. Go check out Kasi on Steam. Check out everything to do with the game and buy it, play it. It's super cool. It's a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys next time. We have another one lined up. Friday, we're going to be checking out Skycadia by Ian Snyder. He'll be showing up on the stream with us. It'll be super cool. We look forward to that. All right. Anything else? I think we're good.
Thanks a lot,
See you,
guys.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.